Hey everybody, today I'll be taking a look at Strangeland, and boy is it a strange game. It is one of the most interesting, but also one of the most weird games I've played in a very long time. From the very first moments, you're plunged into this otherworldly-like universe, like something out of a dream, as you're just floating out in this void with these floating stairs and these floating buildings and this crazy land and place that resembles some kind of a carnival. You walk upon a talking clown that laughs and tells horrible jokes, only to enter the inside going through its mouth to find a woman who just falls down this well hole in the middle of it. It's a weird game that'll keep you guessing constantly where things are going at every turn. It's a dark game that I don't think will be for everyone, but if you're okay with a creepy game with creepy themes and a dark story, then you'll find one hell of an awesome ride. It's also a game that I think a lot of people, once you've finished it, will find a personal connection to, being able to somewhat relate to the main character and some of the things he has to go through. It's one of those games that will keep you thinking about after you've finished it. The story itself is well told, and while I don't really want to delve too deeply to avoid spoilers, it's definitely incredibly well written. There's some awesome pieces of dialogue here, mixed with the intertwining stories that reveal itself over time. The voice acting is pretty good. There's a few areas that are a little bit indie-like, but for the most part, they're done with great emotion that really makes the experience so incredibly immersive and engaging. There's a lot of twists and turns that will really keep you wondering what the heck is going on until the story finally reveals itself towards the end. Strangeland's story is also elevated by wonderful sounds and graphics that complement its creepy undertones. The art in this game is just so surreal and done really well to really make the game just feel unsettling at times and creepy and mind-bending and weird. And the eerie sounds and soundtrack that goes with it makes everything just feel so goofy and strange and weird and alien-like. The one thing that might not fly for everybody is that it's told in a very abstract way. It's told with a lot of metaphors and allegories. It does make Strangeland more of a perplexing journey than it perhaps could have been. I think this is somewhat to the added benefit of the game. You get into the character's crazy state of mind and what the events have taken him through. But it does make the story a little bit more complex than perhaps it could have been, with random things all over the place that don't really reveal themselves 100% until later on in the game. The gameplay is your pretty typical point and click. You'll be wandering around the world, talking to different people, interacting with different objects, combining things together to solve different puzzles to progress the story. I found that most of the puzzles in this game were pretty straightforward, which is great. There's nothing Monkey Island level 2000 degree big brain chess. I only had one time I kind of got stuck, but the game does include a more modern hint system, kind of like other point and click games. You can basically pick up a payphone and you can call a certain number, it'll give you a hint or outright tell you. I do wish it was maybe a little bit less of an outright tell you and more of a hint system. It felt like every time I had to call it, it would pretty much just tell me it, but perhaps that was the one or two times that I ended up using the system, and perhaps it wasn't quite like that for some of the other ones that I actually solved on my own. Overall, Strangeland is a fantastic point and click. I have not seen a point and click horror story like this in quite a while. The puzzles, the gameplay felt well designed, the art was fantastic and really drew you into the world, the sounds, the voice acting was great. It was a fantastic overall experience. I do think if you come into this game thinking that it's going to be like Primordia, given that it's from the Primordia devs, you might be a little bit disappointed just because it's nothing like that. It's not the more linear experience, traditional storytelling that Primordia is. It's very much its own unique thing in the horror space, which is completely different than Primordia. But despite that, this game was a ton of fun. It felt like a complete breath of fresh air in the genre as a whole. It took me about 5 hours to play, and I would highly recommend picking this game up. It was an absolute steal at the price I got it for, and a ton of fun. Anyways guys, I'll see you in the next video. I found this game to be a ton of fun, and I'd highly recommend it. If you liked this video, consider liking and subscribing. See you in the next one.